Sanibonani kwi-Adjudicator on the Child Protection Week. Ngabubona nje ngifaka isipeletu namhlanje ingenxa yalento Tumelo ufakile isipeletu sanamhlanje la.
Kini of Child Protection Week. I think since yesterday, the whole week, social development, departments nationally, we are of course observing Child Protection Week.
And this morning kakhulu into enzeka kamashu siyakunxusa ukuthi ingenzeki nangelinye ilanga lapho khona abantu bethe kunabantu abantshotha ingane kwase kubuya kushaka khona kwabantu siyakunxusa into njengaleyo ukuthi asiyene emaphoyiseni if kukhona into enzakala. But otherwise namhlanje sikhuluma about kwi-Adjudicator sikhuluma about i-topic esakhuluma ngayo last week kwaba baningi abantu abanembono yahlukahlukene lapho sasibuza khona ukuthi Africa isa colonized yini by amazwe asentshonalanga. Kwaba nembono yahlukahlukene sasithi you know what asifakeni imbono embili siza ukuthi abantu bazothina about uhlelo lwanamhlanje.
Okay, Tumelo, Mothotoane. Thank you for joining us. Let's have every Monday to Thursday. Mabane Jimmy comes to Joe Weg. Jimu fitile Joe Weg. Colonized or not. That's the topic today. But it's more of a debate because we had this topic last week and it was very heated. If we due to popular demand and different teams debate is Africa colonized or not? And the motion we're putting before you, this house believes that Africa is not colonized.
Last week sasikhuluma ngani so kunikeza ama highlight ohlelo la last week uze ukuthi babethini inkinga enkulu sensisi debate again lolu hlelo ingenxa ukuthi abantu babe nombono othi awucishe ufane so siyahlanganisa ke manje asibuyele back emuva siza ukuthi kwakwenzakalani last week Wednesday babekhuluma ngani.
Neocolonialism is a way of saying, look, you have been colonized, but because now we've given you independence, most African countries are declared independent, but the independent is limited because the colonizer still tells you what to eat. Some people don't know what colonialization is. Mina say you need to look at the food you eat, you need to look at the clothes you wear. That is colonization. It doesn't have to be physical anymore. It's clear that Africa is being exploited, and it's instructive to look at the policy that the world has adopted. Globalization keeps us at a disadvantage. Ngoba kumele sidayisele wonke umuntu kumele adayise lapha freely without restrictions, without ama-tariffs ukuthi sibavimbe ukuthi bedayise imoto zabo noma ama-computers abo la. Yonke i-factor of production bane-control over. Ama-ball bearings, ama-tire, yonke into bayazi kuyenza. So it doesn't matter whether Africa is producing the rubber and the steel and all of the components which make these computers, cell phones and cars. As example, most of the cocoa beans are coming from Ghana. All of the chocolates are coming from Switzerland. Why is that the case?
First of all, in the breaking process of the black man, you need to miseducate him to think that everything about him is wrong. But now we had empires, we had kings. Your Mansa Musa, a man who is the richest in the planet. Even today, his methods are still not discussed. For 300 years, we've been dehumanized, incarcerated, indoctrinated, lynched, wives raped in front of husbands, while other black men killed on down the streets and bent if they resist colonialism. Now you have to kill the militancy class, make the black man believe, racially profile him as inferior, and anybody else who try to resist this shall be killed in front of everybody for them to see that there's no other superior than white. Because said that we need to educate black people to know that they're not inferior, as much as we need to educate whites to know that they're not superior. White children are being also mentally remote controlled to believe that they're superior, so that intergenerationally our children will submit to white supremacy, because we see white dolls in our black communities, therefore conditioning black children to think that white's superior. Even if foreign investment can leave, of course, let them leave for now, but I don't think they will leave because Africa is the wealthiest continent in the planet.
Job usiboneleke yona into sobe siyidebate namhlanje ukuthi Africa ngokubona kwakho isa colonized amazwe asentshonalanga nokucabanga otherwise njengokomthetho ke la kwi-Adjudicator sayisithi ekhaya nawe bayingxenye yohlelo fonela ku 011 3391315 it's 011 leyo number leyo esiyisebenzisayo or find us on Facebook daily_Thetha or Twitter as well @daily_Thetha so inamba yakhona yabo ngadla izambane like qa ngizama ukuyidot number yakhona but otherwise we do have ama teams wethu azodebate lolu hlelo namhlanje we do have uKevin Mahayisa as well as Tsepo Mufukeng. Welcome to Interlude, Thank you.
Well, you guys look ready.
You look
ready.
Okay, cool.
Alrighty then, but of course, the motion to the front, they believe Africa is not colonized. Well, I have Team B on my left, and joining me, Nalintsikelelo Barnabas, and also Zuhair Taya Balungor Kibanabalo opposing that motion. Gentlemen, welcome. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, but as well. And we do have the Adjudicator at A1 namhlanje. Uyona ezobe ikhona, but otherwise umuntu sobe sikhuluma naye kakhulu lo sekhaya. Sizona nombono wakho uthini about today's topic.
Yeah.
But otherwise, Mighty Jamie, welcome to Interlude again. Yeah, I'll change, you know, just go guys. Ngiyadlala.
It's a different shirt.
Come naga. What are you expecting today? Ruboni, you were with us last week. We're debating the very same topic, very passionate about it. Yeah. Mentioned the examples there of, you know, cocoa beans being grown, go Ghana, but Fela Jesusaland producing the final chocolate product. Yeah. What are you expecting from both teams today?
Well, I think for me, it's just moving away from the emotions, because I think a lot of times these kind of conversations, they get very emotional. That's why they're popular. But when you're now trying to think about what's actually going on, sometimes you don't make those assessments from an emotional place. It's the same reason why we tell kids not to make decisions when they're angry. So we need to make sure that we get a clear-headed conversation. And that's really what makes debating different from public speaking. Because when politicians sometimes speak, they're just speaking uchazabantu. But when debaters are speaking, they're getting to the bottom line of the issue. And so I'm looking for what's really going on.
Interesting. So nice one.
Yeah, that's one. And sizobanikeza imithetho yakhona ke Daily Thetha. It's a debating style yethu la kwi Daily Thetha. What do? We give you 2 minutes each so that uzokwazi udebate a point yakho. And of course, the first 30 minutes akekho umuntu okumele interject lapho so that size ukuthi uthini. And then after the last 30 minutes as well, 30 seconds actually, the last 30 seconds as well, sinikeza lelo thuba tumi so that kungabikho ukuthi umuntu angakwazi ukuchaza kahle story sakhe because of ama-PO items abasobe benikeza wona. Okay,
nithi Latibaka, you've heard the rules of the debate. We can't start now. Arfe nako ya gore le breathing. Lwena motlhong molongono ukwele topic e leng gore it resonates luena. Let's go to pay, of course, our bills. And when we come back, we're starting with our debates. Team A, itla baby the motion. Ya gore they believe gore Africa is not colonized. We'll be right back.
Yeah, Africa I belong la African tsena ba ningo ba mkerile ku ba nga ba tikuma ba la South Africa ngwe kahle Africa lengwa ye ngwe la msabeni as long as ka globe yinwe ya planet Earth. So ngwe ri belonga ka ngwe kahle fanerile ku ita itikumela la South Africa kuna munhu loyi anga belong ikona ngwe ri vanhu yafana ngo ba yambana tikhala na swin'wana mara ngwe ri vanhu.
Africa I belonga go ma Africa lebaka ile gore kaofela re ma Africa so ke mo re tshwere re ba gona.
Mina ngicabanga ukuthi Africa kusiyona nje phela yama Africa ngoba kuumhlabathi wonke umuntu mhlamba angahlala ngakhona. So ke angiboni ukuthi kukhona mhlamba okubi ngalokho.
Anyone who wants to be a part of Africa can come to Africa and live in Africa because Africa belongs to Africa, but the world belongs to everyone.
Daily Thetha le khone le re debater ka taba e leng gore ya question na gore is Africa colonized or not. Ke debate e leng gore thomile last week actually Kini. It was very heated. Mighty Jamie na le rena as well as you know the guest shading with bulela about gore Africa was to say where did we go wrong, how are we going wrong, and I feel like ke ntwe e leng gore e tlo dula in our generation or will we see economic transformation in our lifetime.
And njoba sesiqala ke debate yethu ama rules ngoba sizawachaza ekuqaleni alula kakhulu. It's just 2 minutes ukuze usichazele ukuthi wena ngokubona kwakho yini because this house I believe ukuthi Africa is not colonized. So Kevin awuyela phambili. Kevin is going to be giving us 2 minutes wakhe. The first 30 seconds uzoqala nje engaphazamiswa umuntu and then the last 30 seconds as well just to sum up the whole conversation yakhe siza ukuthi uthini about I point yakhe. So Kevin, are you ready my brother?
I'm ready.
And your minutes start right now.
Okay, so on our side of the house, this is why we believe that Africa is not colonized. So I'm going to give you 2 points.
Microphone, please.
So I'm going to give you 2 points, right? So firstly, right, think about the harmful nature for Africans, right, of thinking that we are colonized on and of ourselves. It takes accountability away from the governments, right? So let's agree, we have to agree that we have a fundamental problem in governance, right? That is to say that in most African countries, corruption is endemic, nepotism, cronyism, the lack of political will, right, to implement our policies, right? And we also think that in cases where countries do have resources, right, and where Western people are taking these resources, they're actually being assisted by African leaders to do this, right? So they're just not yet taking them on their own. There are people who are benefiting, who are Africans, right? And second, secondly, right, on my second point, we have a big fundamental ideological problem, right? Most African governments are left-leaning. That is to say that we are being governed by socialists or quasi-communists, right? And the problem with this, right, and I want to give a doctor analogy, right? So most policy prescriptions, because those guys are going to come here and tell you that we're being given solutions by Westerners for African problems, right? Right. But what we think is that most solutions, right? So the doctor analogy in this instance is, right, when a doctor gives you a prescription, right, as the patient, it is your duty, right, to go and do this. Yeah, I can take it now.
Do you think African leaders have a choice but to listen to the Western counterparts who use world organizations like the IMF to control them?
Listen, even when they do listen to IMF and the World Bank, right, they don't implement it fully, right? Because we're given like solutions like, for example, ISAP, which is really a market force-driven thing, right? And we have socialist governments in essence, right? So they don't have, because they are socialists, right, our governments don't have the political will to do this.
Thank you. Then again, let's hear from Team B. Go to the stage. Your time starts right now.
We are not.
Hold on, one second. 2, 1, let's go.
We are not persuaded by the first team by telling us that African countries are being assisted by Western hegemony. What they don't account for is the ability of African states to self-determine in those policies. Usually it's a thing where the United Nations suggests a policy that African countries can adopt. If they don't opt in, they are sanctioned and they are ostracized from the international community. That is what they don't account for. The fact that African countries don't have like the political capacity to enact policies that are going to benefit them is something that's problematic. The one thing that I'm going to be talking about in my speech, the one thing that I'm going to be talking about in my speech is the cultural appropriation that we see in African countries. This means that the movies and the books and the music that we consume are of Western nature. Movies that portray black people as thieves, movies that portray black men as rapists are things that are normalized in our society, that it's normal for a black person to steal something, it's normal for black people to kill other people, right? This is the very same thing that we see in academia. The fact that in 2015, girls in Pretoria were still protesting to have their afros is something that shows that Africa is colonized. The fact that black kids can't have their hair and like principals are going to send them to detention because black hair looks like a bird's nest and is untidy means that we still subscribe to Western norms, that straight hair is what like actual hair should look like. We believe as long as like academia is not moving away from those things that continue to make white people superior, we are colonized. The fact that UCT students were still protesting for Cecil John Rhodes' statue to be removed is to show that epistemology and academia is of Western culture. In my philosophy course, I haven't learned about a black person. We continuously learn about people like Max Weber and Karl Marx. It's because black people who wrote things have been totally removed from epistemology and academia. That makes black people to internalize hate against themselves, that they are inferior. You study a degree for 5 years and you never encounter someone.
Thank you very much. Njengoba ke kudebate namhlanje sinama teams awu-2 the first half le babuya futhi with the second half, but guys again ama rules ami kanje. First 30 seconds animphazamisi omunye umuntu, then and the last one as well siyawazi ukuthi awumphazamisi last 30 seconds so that sizokwazi ukuthi sithole imbono yabo ngokuhlukahlukana.
Let's get feedback from one audience member. Microphone to one of our audience members. What did you think about Team A, Team B? Team A mentioned things about government accountability libona eskaba fela gore we're colonized, and that's Team A, and then Team B bleach about different things. We're colonized and black hair not looking so black anymore. Unaganang about the different points.
Sanibonani, igama lami Lucas Matsana. Ngivumelana Team B ukuthi iAfrica colonize, because today we are not owning any brand. Yonke into iqhamuka ngaphandle. The good example, we have a leader, a Libya leader. Before he died, he said, people of Libya, notice that these people, they don't like you, they like what you have.
But not you.
Not you. Which means they want their resources. At the end, he said, African leaders, let's wake up and open African Bank so that we cannot go there and borrow money. They kill him because he will open their other president's mind.
Okay. And sekuza kakhulu mfethu, let's check my calls as well at home. Ucabangana about it debate namhlanje. Let's go to Umuzi in KZN. Muzi. Unjani futhi?
Ngiyaphila wethu.
Asikhona mfethu. Ithini comment yakho about uhlelo namhlanje?
Ngithi i-Africa icoloniziwe kakhulu futhi. Politically basinekile inkululeko abelungu. Kodwa badla ngento eyodwa bathene umnotho ngeke siwuthole noma yini ngobani? Banzele wona umnotho la. Bafuna ukuyimake iAfrica. Apha until ngakwazi ukuthi ize i-provide thina esihlala kuyona. Uzokwenzela i-example Kini.
Yeah.
Uyabona o-president abaningi mhlawumbe ngizokutshela ngomama Gaddafi. Mama Gaddafi bathi wayedictator. Buka elokhundleni eLibya kunjani. Umama Gaddafi iAfrica ubexhasa ngemali. Amazwe aseAfrica umama Gaddafi weshintshile umnotho waseLibya. I-Al-Qaeda le bahlupha ubeyibambile. Wazamtshela futhi noCameroon wathi uma ulimaza mina wena impi i-Al-Qaeda uzoyilwela emagcekeni akho because enegcineni abelungu bafuna ungakwazi ukuthi udedele umnotho bawenza into abayithandayo lapho ngicabene iSouth Africa sinikile inkululeko but inkululeko yethu bangibuze i-Reserve Bank amabhona be-nationals li-rand even though bese-sanctioned abantu survive nge-rand.
Okay.
To government. Private. So private kanjani i-Reserve Bank umuntu afuna ukuthi umnotho ubuyele kubantu. Okuchaza ukuthi basevunyelwana ekuqaleni ukuthi nikwa ilofundi i-political freedom. But izinto ayihlale zisenjalo abelungu balofundi ba-enjoy ama-benefits ade besawa-enjoy. Asiyinkululeko leyo.
Okay.
Noma singakhuluma ugovernment ukuthi no-government akenza lutho. Ugovernment uzoyithathaphi imali uma engakwazi ukuthi aphathe i-Reserve Bank.
All right,
aphathe umnotho.
Thank you so much, Muzi. Thank you so much for that call.
It's so simple. Point here, politically we are free, but economically we are not. That's what the point I raise. All
right, Vuyo gape from Soweto. Vuyo ra amogela mo Daily Thetha.
Hello, guys.
Ro gona le kae?
Return.
Eh, le bula the different debates.
Yeah, thanks for giving me this time to talk to you. Look, man, our forefathers were colonized in 16th century, 17th, 18th. This is the 20th century. I was still crying about what happened in the 16th century. What are we doing as Africans? We are the ones who will decolonize ourselves. If we are colonized, it's because of what we did and what we are doing now. Our leaders are doing nothing. They are the ones who are supposed to change Africa, but they are doing nothing.
So feel like our leaders need to take more accountability as opposed to complain.
Yes, and us ourselves. We must be accountable for that. For instance, we've got the engineers, we've got the architects. What are they doing? They go to school. After that, they go and work for the capitalists.
All right, Buvuyo, not tell each other debates from Team A, Team B. Were you listening?
No, unfortunately, I wasn't.
Oh, you weren't listening.
The other thing is we've been labeled xenophobic, racist, this and this. You can go to lands now. Go to Forsberg. You will never find a shop owned by a black person there. All the shops are owned by Indians, white or what. You can never go to a white area and open a shop.
You feel like it's impossible. You feel like it's not possible. But thank you so much for calling out. We really got your point. But you know, the point I think it resonates more with what Team A was saying. Yes. Our leaders and also about Africa, they need to stop complaining and take more accountability. What are we doing to remedy the solution?
But into any ballegles funugiaza as well. When kabanga about this at home. Sfonele now go 011-339-1315 for find us on Facebook. Daily_Thetha, na Twitter as well at Daily_Thetha. See you after this.
I wouldn't say colonized in a way, but yes, we are captured in terms of finance, because everybody knows Africa struggles in terms of finances, so we depend on these Western countries to supply us with finance. So in that way, once you control the money, you basically control everything.
Africa, I got to honor as the black person because we are very poor, and they came here in South Africa and took everything and go away. That's why it's the problem. and the percentage of our own Africa is the less and the white people one of percentage in Africa.
I'm going to colonize because as now it's back to us, so we still have that thing like between Africans and white people.
Izinto mhlawumbe ungabhekela njengomhlaba yabo umhlaba usasezandleni zabantu abamhlophe so kusasenzima for thina njengabantu abamnyama ukuthi sione umhlaba and then we still squashed endaweni njengasemalokishini there so kunzima ukuthi sithole ilokungani a free space and freedom yet we still free so it's really izinto enjengalezo mhlawumbe ngathi ziyas affect us so we still colonized. I would agree with you if you say so.
Welcome back to Daily Thetha, and today is a debate show. So sifuna ukwazi ngempela ukuthi Africa is colonized and the emotion namhlanje and team A uthi support uthi nope we are not colonized but sesiyaqala i-debate yethu sifuna ukuzwa nawe at home ukuthi ucabanga na party show namhlanje ucomment kuzo zonke inkundla zokuxhamana noma futhi usifonele uma ukuthi airtime ikhona.
Okay, nithi yourself of course continually debate ya rena thoma kapele team A eleng gore ba bya motion ya gore Africa is not colonized. Are you ready? All right, you must go to the middle. Let's see if the clock is in. Re making sure gore inakongo you do have 2 minutes eleng gore na la go debate. The first 30 seconds, of course, will be uninterrupted. You may begin.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's be very careful when we're having discourse about what our society looks like. No one is going to tell you on proposition that Africa is perfect and that all is well. Instead, what we're going to tell you is that Africa is not colonized, but it is in the process of decolonization. Don't let opposition get away with telling you that Africa has problems. That's not new information. The question is how do we move beyond those problems and whether or not we have the incapacity to do that because we are colonized. What we'd say is that the governments that we have right now have been incredibly bad governments, have been incredibly bad at breaking down the power that Western powers have had over us, have been very bad at getting that independence that we need. We are not colonized, but we are certainly in the process. Give it time, yeah.
Even if African leaders were to be the most accountable people in the world, that still doesn't take away from the hegemony that the West has over economic and political policies.
Right. So there's no such thing as a panacea over all of the problems that we have. It takes time. We need to start somewhere. You don't just say that we don't fix the question of accountability because that's not enough. We need to start somewhere. We fix that question of accountability, then we move to economic independence, then we move to political independence, then we move to social empowerment. These things take time. It's a process that we need to go through. What I'm going to say to you is that even in a social perspective, we are no longer colonized.
Mic closer to your lips, please.
We are not colonized, even on a social perspective. So Ntiki refers to things like the black hair struggles that, you know, a lot of the school policies don't allow for the expression of our identity. But that has changed, right? Because of that sort of thing, because of the uproars that we've had a lot of these schools changing their hair policies. In fact, this is probably the best time to be African right now because Africans are so proud of who they are. We are owning the black identity in a way that we have never owned it before. No one has ever been prouder to call themselves African in Africa like they are now. Sure, we do have some problems, right? We will concede that we have some xenophobic problems. We have some problems with economics that we can't fix. But there's no one solution to the problems of Africa. We need to start somewhere. We are not colonized, but we are certainly in the process. There's a good picture to look at.
Thank you so much, Team A. Alrighty, Team A. Kakula, your views loud and clear. Team B, this is your moment. Of course, you may get to the center. Clock, please wait for me to say. You may begin. 2 seconds. May we have the clock, please? All right, and your 2 minutes begins now.
All right, let me tell you all a story of the supposedly free countries of Africa. These countries are free to do whatever they want for their future, except if you elect a leader that completely challenges Western dominance, we're going to give you a CIA-backed coup. And then we're going to blame it on you because your culture allows for dictatorship. You can do whatever you want to determine your economic futures, but remember, it's neoliberal. If it's not neoliberal, you're going to get all those bad credit ratings. You're going to make sure the IMF tells you what to do. You're going to make sure the World Bank tells you what to do and dare you disobey. But you're completely free to do what you want. And you must take accountability, of course. You must take accountability for corrupt leaders who come into your country with Western finance backing. You must take accountability when Western banks create the environment where they can hide those finances and refuse to return it to your country when you challenge them legally. But yes, you should take accountability.
The only thing that you've proven to us is that it's difficult, but not impossible. Tell us why exactly we can never reach a point at which all of those things get better.
All right, it's difficult, It's difficult to take out Western-backed governments with guns who are ensuring that every single time you attempt to challenge the status quo of exploitation in your country, they will ensure that that government is removed. It is impossible, ladies and gentlemen, to challenge the IMF when they can cut off the entire lifeline of global trade that keeps countries going. It is impossible, ladies and gentlemen, to say that we are not colonized when the only thing we're asked to do in this continent is to ensure that we say anything except that we're going to blame actual oppression, actual Western-backed finance on our governments. The moment we say
10 seconds remaining.
It's over. It's over for your country, it's over for your economy, and remember, it's all your fault. That's what they call decolonization.
Thank you so much, Team B. All right. Those are the debates, and very heated. They're very valid points from both sides, I think.
Yes, and also when I found out from the studio audience, it's but when I found out about Team A or Team B, atina ma points wabo. About this, and also taking your calls at home. About this.
Don't be scared to ask questions. Don't be scared to ask questions. This is about your continent.
Please. Thank you very much. Siswam, Ubanika Malako, and your comment about the show.
Thank you, I think I'll team with...
Microphone, please.
I'll agree with Team A.
Yeah.
Oh, Team B, I think. Because they say...
This is Team B, by the way, so we're confused.
Team B. I agree with them. I agree with Team B.
Okay,
we still colonize. I mean, let's look at cultural diversity. We've adopted modern life. It's like we're ashamed of who we are. For example, foreign people can come to our country, take our raw materials, go back to their countries and manufacture them, take them back as final product, and we have to buy them. But it's our product.
But unale putisha for any of the team members, because you're raising very valid points. So do you have a question, Mukhomwe, for a team that didn't answer to your question? Mukhomwe, Team A or Team B that you feel didn't quite get your attention, or they didn't convince you enough?
My question will be for Team A. If they think we are not colonized, why are we limited to opportunities? Remember, in South Africa, if you are nobody, nobody will take you serious. You need connection first. And as nobody, no one will take you serious, and you won't get where you want to go.
Interesting. Do you want to briefly just answer that?
Yeah. These are sort of questions you ought to ask your leaders. So why haven't they been systematic means by the government to empower black people, particularly in South Africa? So what is the government doing to make sure that we are moving up the social structures, right? So we know that we've been colonized. So what is the government in and of itself doing to decolonize us? That is where the blame should lie. Because let me be honest, right? People who are benefiting from this kind of system, they're not going to help us to move up, right?
Okay. Are you happy, my sister? You're not sure, eh? But let's go to East London. Let's go to East London. Let's go to Vuyo in East London. Welcome to Thetha.
Hello, Budibuljani.
Sikona unjanwana pod.
We are still colonized because if you've got some product as a black person, I support and we have months about sabotage. Again, DJ Smoo, come up with more fire, go back complications. I change this one because of it's a black tie. He plays second problems. There was no problem. But if the whites, a bigger problem. If there's the blacks, I put on careful. So we are still colonized in Angola. So even in Angola, in Mzansi, eskoleni, abantwana bafunda kwa school. So we are still colonized.
Marabutam, I have a question for you because you're raising a good point there about DJ's Bulu product, and you're saying we're still colonized. That's why a product that DJ's Bulu is not selling. Who is actually also part of the problem? Because we have the power as consumers. But if we're not buying, is it because somebody's telling us not to buy, or literally now we're part of the problem as South Africans?
No, imama kaloku somlithi sithi kwathini ingqondo zethu defeated because the product as exhausting as a black neseba nomuntu oyi black yabo but if into ezale nomuntu o white le exhaust ukuthi okay this thing is right because of ingqondo zethu we need to be educated about this right so support abantu abamnyama and asozenza umuntu one le inikathela sosonke sizo South Africans team sisebenzisana ensonke yabo ayinokwazi ukupusha umuntu one thina sonke support the blacks senze sure sure ukuthi siyasupportana sonke.
Okay, mfethu siyakuzwa kakhulu, but just correction there, i-product lekasibu isiyatholakala kwesinye seyitolo ezinkulu, so uyakwazi ukuthola nasema garage as well, so singasho ukuthi ayitholakala yatholakala after fight. Okay, siyabonga kakhulu. Siyabonga kakhulu. Uzabukela iDaily Thetha, siyabuya after this sizothola ukuthi yona iphi team eyenze kahle phakathi kwa team A or team B.
I think we need to improve on our education system and give our youth the right opportunity to create better jobs for themselves, because it does start with young people, and if young people are given the right resources and tools, then they can take Africa up.
I feel because like Africa itself develops most of the world's resources and stuff like that. So I feel that if we can take out foreign investment from like our continent and focus on ourselves, then this our Africa continent specifically can develop on itself instead of relying on this outside help.
One of the few things ourselves, we need to be independent as other countries are. You understand? I think the whole colonization thing is that we're still depending on other people. You understand? So we need our own dependence. And we get our own manufacturing, our own dependence. So if we eradicate colonization, but it's not depend on other countries. So it's okay, Africa, my Africa sevens.
Look, it's a very, very sensitive one, and I think only in Africa, and you did your research, sometimes even though it's emotional, man, it's a debate. Man, emotional. We are colonized. But what does he think is the adjudicator from both sides, with the cases presented fairly and logically, especially? Mati Jamie, Okule Team A and Team B. What did you think so far of the debate?
Okay, I think it's a good debate. It didn't cover all of the things that could be covered, obviously, because there's time constraints and this is a very deep topic. What they did cover was governance, how African states are governed, corruption, cronyism, nepotism, all of that. They did cover the policy preferences of certain states and how that impacts the country when you're looking at IMF and World Bank, and are they directing the fiscal policies. And the last thing that was discussed was this idea of culture and learning. So the way I've put them is kind of the prioritization that I've placed on them in the debate. But I think we need to hear some responses, because they didn't come out very clearly from both teams. Because, and I think I'll ask this first question to Team B. Team B, when Team A says that African leaders are choosing these left-leaning policies, and they are choosing to be, for instance, capitalist states, or they are choosing policies that favor capitalism or Western concepts of capitalism, I didn't really get a response from you guys other than that they're forced to. Are you saying that it's impossible for these African states to do a different kind of economic policy?
I think also it's because sometimes it's not necessarily that African states want to be capitalist at first, but because the international system has been set specifically to benefit that type of economic system, it's a matter of you either opting into capitalism or you have to suffer on your own and you're ostracized. We specifically see that with countries like the United States of America. If you're not capitalist, then we don't have a common interest, we're not going to fund you. So because African states are like always small countries that have little influence, then they don't have another option but to opt into capitalism and make it work.
Alrighty. Thank you so much, Team B.
Question for this?
Yes.
That's a good point there.
Okay, so for Team A, what Team B said in their first speaker was that the cultural dynamics of Africa are such that we are still learning about Western systems. We're still in a society that prescribes Westernness over everything, in the curriculum, in the food, in the fashion, and besides saying that there's a lot of African culture, I didn't really hear a response from you about what about the classroom and the lecture rooms and the kind of educational system that we have in those spaces. Don't you think that is a form of colonialization?
So I think two responses to give to that. The first is that it was almost inevitable given globalization and the fact that the West has control. So when you control the media, when you control a lot of the conversation and dialogue that happens in society, it means that you're able to infiltrate even in places like Africa. But the second is that things are getting better, right? So the cause in South Africa for fees to fall and for education to be decolonized is indication of the fact that Africans are now aware that that's not what they want. We are rejecting that sort of system. Every African properly has the right to be angry at the white man. We are now at a point at which we are acting out on that, right? So I think we can't just assume that it's going to be over in a second, but we are certainly in the process of things getting better.
Alrighty then.
Do you have another, I think, just add quickly?
Very quickly.
First, we also think that it's important to distinguish between modernity and westernized. So because when sometimes you say this stuff is Western, right, you're giving them credit for everything, the science, the arts. Remember, there's also African contribution to some of the stuff that we're learning, right? Like mathematics, there's big contribution coming also from the Middle East to this. So not all of it is Western. So we need to distinguish between what is Western and what is modern.
Alrighty then, thank you so much. Team A for answer, Luna. Audience members.
Yeah, let's check audience members about this. And we have a question. Or Team A, noma Team B, sizututhi nombuzo wako or i-comment yakho about i-debate namhlanje.
Oh, my name is Annelisiwe Modine.
Yeah.
I support Team A.
Team A.
Right. Yeah, since us as an Africans.
Yeah.
Sisatheng samazimba estratweni if senze inhloko sishawuta estratweni okay izanokuluka while ama Nigeria and amakula benamashopha wabawa onayo la South Africa.
City Indians, not that way.
Oh,
it's just
I'm sorry.
Indians. Yeah, not that way.
While bona benezinto abazonayo abe South Africa, so I feel like it's colonized.
So we're not colonized?
Not at all.
All right then. I don't know, maybe commenting. Let's just pass the mic. And I'm coming if there's anybody else who analyzing a comment. Lekule debate papa.
Yes. My name is Thetha Sitlodi. I'm not sure if I'm being away from the topic, but I have 3 things that get to me when it comes to us being decolonized. You still find black people, like she said, black people are still in the streets, stuff like that. And then you find houses like RDPs. I've never seen a white person in an RDP, stuff like that. So I'm still dwelling on why is it that way.
So point are we colonized or not colonized?
We're not.
We're not colonized as black people, or as Africans rather.
Yes, you could say that, maybe.
All right.
Nice point,
show. Yeah, the points show. And I mean, I think it tears on other sides, depending on or do we take responsibility as my African, or what are we doing to remedy the solution? Are remedy the leaders remedy the West, it hands over the rain. Marona is saying a master will never tell their slave or they're free. So what are we doing to make sure we remedy the process as Africans? And when we come back, we're almost going to close our show, but not before we get other comments from my team. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Daily Thetha Sisilvala nje uhleli namhlanje wana find out ama results ame kanjani Team A or Team B. I'm sure lapha ekhaya uyazibuza ukuthi yona yiphi ngempela egobe uphondo namhlanje. But before siye ekhaya start nama calls and audience yethu asibuyele back to Mighty Jamie just to find out exactly ukuthi yona yiphi team A enze kahle between the two.
Okay, in my view, there are 3 things that colonialism speaks to that was covered in this debate. The system of laws, the system of culture, and the system of extraction. So I think it's very clear because imthetho ibiyenzwa ukuthi incindezela abantu. You can't marry blacks, you can't own land here, you can't own this and that wherever. Ne? So now, when proposition or Team A tells us that the government is actually in charge of this system of laws across Africa, you have to take credence to that. And Umabe City, the government is failing to execute on those laws. They are trying to indicate ukuthi the system of laws, imthetho iyenziwa yiti. Implementation yemthetho iyenziwa yiti. And what they're also saying, which I think wasn't responded to, is ukuthi African leaders are entering into agreements with countries such as China to help those countries to take
make the things that then make the cell phones and the jeans and the jackets that we buy here. And I think so when you look at the system of laws and the system of extraction, it looks to me like Team A made a better case that actually we're in control of those, but we are acting in conjunction with the Western interests and the Eastern interests. Our African leaders are doing that voluntarily. So it's in our hands, but we are now acting in cahoots, so to speak, with the people who oppress us. So I think I give them those 2 points. In the context of culture, I think it's very important, Uguti, I must concede, Uguti, the case for culture is stronger on Team B. They're saying, Uguti, we're still being taught Western things in our primary and our secondary schools. I do take the response that comes about, Uguti, no, this learning is not exclusively from the British or the Americans. The Asians have made a contribution, the people in the Middle East have made a contribution, and further, that we are making progress to remove those things because we are learning about Bochiniwa, Achebe, and all of that. I think that point falls a little bit this side, but I must say, in the reality of the situation is that on shows such as SABC, siyakwazi ukukhuluma ama language ethu, siyakwazi ukwenza izinto zethu la, sigqoka ama all stars, yenza zonke lezi zinto. We've got our own identity and our own culture as black people. It's not that in South Africa, noma in Nigeria, noma in Ghana, the culture yakhona, it's exclusively British. So their point, it's on their side, but it's not the most important point in the debate because I think there's a contestation of culture. Uma sengibheka is system of laws and a system of extraction. I think the case that was best made in this debate in the limited time was Team A. That's where I'm calling the debate.
Then. Team
so
A,
Team A, 1 point for you guys.
1 point. Well, Nali, 2 more points to go.
So
from an audience member.
And from the caller as well.
And from the caller. So make sure you phone at 011-339-1315. Your call could decide the winner, of course.
We have someone.
Yeah, we have someone on the line.
Audience
or call?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Let's go straight to the caller.
Yeah, I told you that. I'm also excited.
Yeah, Thetha from Soweto. Hello, Thetha. Okay, let's have a sit again. Temba at Deben.
We're taking the vote to KZN.
Sikhona njani wena Mthembani?
Sikhona.
Mfethu we decide namhlanje, no? Team A une point already, Team B dololo. So asizokwena ukuthi kwenzakalani mfethu? Ipoint lakho linika zabani?
I think Team B is spot on.
Why?
Yeah, you know, let's look at the reality. Yabona, I think 95 or 99.9% abantu who are at the studio right now, Gunina, I can literally say are black people, right? But the thing is, you are conversing in English most of the time. So that on its own, it basically speaks that is colonization. That is on its own, that is just colonization.
So Tabaya language.
So,
yeah.
So colonization, it doesn't necessarily mean, as what you call as Team A has stated, that it has to start with the government. That's just, colonization dates back than what we actually see within the government right now. For instance, more if you can look around Africa, how many countries actually speak their own indigenous languages in Africa?
No, we say totally point yakho mfethu ukuthi kwakhona lokho uthi ukhuluma nathi nje uvela ukhuluma isigisi yiyo kanye into sibhekene nayo le.
Yeah, leyo problem.
You're not in a problem kakhulu esihlangene nayo.
Okay, so your point goes to Team B, so it's a tie, guys.
All right, Team B. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough one.
I don't even want to be the one not decide on this one.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. Okay, so Ariengo, the gentleman on my left, I guess we're maybe it's Africa. It's Africa Day. I don't know what's happening. Can comment before you even give us the answer, which team do you like? Mara, can comment about debate and then give us your point to your team.
About the debate, what I can say is that we are discussing something that is realistic and something that is happening. That's the point that I like, is that it's emotional even to other people, because other people, it has affected them in a way that it can never change their lives. We look at apartheid. It's something that we can look at as something that has affected many people and their freedom, because colonization is about freedom and ownership. So it has affected many people.
All right.
And
okay,
then
let's go.
My point, it will go to to Team B.
Oh,
Because
yeah, why?
Because of what I mentioned,
Okay.
that ownership is in our hands.
Okay.
We decide, we have the power to decide our laws and everything. But I loved the point that Team A said. It's not like we are being forced, as Team B revealed, or there's fear that we
All
have.
right.
That
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We still have a
So
choice.
the winner is Team B. Okay. Now, guys, anything you want to say? Especially in microphone, so as about criminal. After this, you won, guys. You won the title, so you are the winner. What are you getting? What are you giving them?
Briefly, please.
Just.
Okay, I think this is a very important topic and discussion that has to happen.
Yeah.
It's important also to try and look at how status quo is and how we can best change it. I think that's what Proposition did quite well, that we are in the process of decolonization. The fact that as black bodies, we're not comfortable with how the system is, and that at university and every spaces that we are, we need to question those things because they affect our lives and our families.
Okay, thank you very much. And today is a very special day, guys, for Utumi next to me.
Oh my God.
45 years ago. She was born. This little cute pie. Asimkulele happy birthday, guys. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to you.
Oh my God, thank you. 45.
45.